guys, Leilani Joy here, and welcome to the Paint Along, my new series on Art Nouveau where you can paint along with me in real time while I answer your questions. So grab your art supplies and put away all your social media and video games and other distractions, and for the next 45 minutes or an hour, let's just create some art together. So before I jump into episode number 3 already, I just want to say thank you to you guys for all the really great positive feedback I've gotten on the paint along vids. I wasn't really sure like how it would go, if it would be something that you guys would be into, but I've received nothing but amazing comments and like just you guys telling me how much you enjoy it. So I am going to continue doing these paint along videos, and I'm going to try to do one once a week. As you guys know, Art Nouveau doesn't really come out until I finish a painting, which sometimes takes a while. So this would be a really great regular series to keep doing. So I'm going to try and do that. One other thing I just wanted to mention is that if you've asked me a question at #LJ or commented on the last paint along videos, I'm going to do my best to answer as many questions as possible. However, I am getting quite a few repeated questions and some questions that I've already answered like a ton of times in my FAQs. So before you ask your question, please quickly review the ones I've already answered, and please check out my FAQs at leilanijoy.com/FAQ. So if I skip over your question, it's probably because I have already answered it. I am also helping you guys out on the paint along videos. I'm adding little time links to all the questions. So if you have something you really want to know, you can just look in the video description, click on the link to the question answer you want to hear, and there you go. I could not make it any easier for you. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the questions. I'm starting with the questions from YouTube, and on this episode, I'm starting with the questions asked on my very first paint along video. So I'm going to try and answer these quickly. I know I have a lot more questions now than I did the first time, so I'm going to try and be efficient and get these answered for you while I work. Okay. So first question comes from Ashley M, and Ashley M asks, "What are you painting on?" And yeah, I'm done answering that. But for the final time, final time, guys. I paint on gesso board. Gesso board. There it is. This is what I like. It's a thin masonite type board, and they have these at basically any art store, or you can order them online. So that's that. Done answering that. Not answering that one anymore. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, Counted Shadows asks, "I love your videos." Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. "Do you have any tips for artist block? I feel so inadequate. I haven't been able to paint for months, and when I try, I end up painting over it and restarting it and throwing it away. I tried listening to music, watching my favorite movies, lighting incense, and browsing the net for inspiration. I just end up starting over." Oh gosh, I hugs, first of all, artist hugs. I've been there many times, and I feel you. The thing about it is, though, I feel, is that like sometimes you really can't force it. Sometimes you have to like get away from it a little bit. Yeah, sometimes you just be like, okay, I'm gonna find another outlet, something else I enjoy. I mean, if you like, riding your bike, or if you like, dancing, going to films, writing, I think could be a really therapeutic thing. Just write different ideas down, but maybe not try to create, just say for 1 week, I'm not going to do any art, just let that little frustration bubble burst, if you will. That sounds gross. That sounds like a zit or something, but it can be. Another thing that I would say, though, is you may be using the wrong medium. I have found that a lot of frustration sometimes comes from not using the proper tools. So if you're using watercolor, maybe you find that you can't control it enough, and you're finding that really frustrating. So maybe you'd want to try gouache or acrylic or pastels and pencils. So I do find that the art store is really inspiring, even when I'm like in a funk and I go there and I'm just like, I need one tube of paint and then I'm leaving and I don't care. I'll see something new and I'll be like, oh, that looks like fun, and sometimes that gets me back in the mood to create something. So yeah, the art store, that really does for me. Buy something totally weird and random that you wouldn't think you'd like. See how that works out for you. The other thing is, I know I'm already getting kind of elaborate on these questions, but I find that almost all my pieces go through something that I call the ugly stage, which might be what you're wrestling with as well. I like pretty much every piece I do goes through the ugly stage, and I go, ugh, like I should just start over. Like this looks like crap. So you might be, my dear friend, hitting the ugly stage and then just wanting to throw in the towel. Sometimes you have to push through it. I mean, sometimes it still isn't going to work out exactly how you like it, but I find that most pieces go through the stage where it doesn't look very good and it really needs work. So I would suggest out of those things, go to the art store, switch up your medium, see if something else feels more comfortable. You're trying to maybe force something that isn't natural for you, and give yourself a deadline and say, okay, I have to finish this piece no matter what, even if I don't like it. Sometimes in reality, that's what we have to do. So that might just be good to just say, okay, no, I don't even have to show it to anybody, but I'm going to finish it and then write down what I've learned. I'd also really love to invite you to take my class. I think that I could help you with that a little bit, maybe help you find your medium and maybe help you with your technique, which may cut down on some of that frustration. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay, a rockabilly artist. I wanted to thank you for my Evil Most Fair print. It's beautiful. Oh, cool. I'm so glad you like it. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I keep asking, but I totally fell in love with when you first started painting her. Will you be finishing your Mayan princess? Oh, my Mayan princess, my poor Mayan princess. She's been sitting in my closet for a long time. I don't know what happened. I got sidetracked. I'm sure you guys, this happens to you sometimes. Yeah, I'm gonna finish it. I am gonna finish it. Actually, thank you for reminding me, because, I really like where that piece is going, and I think it'll be really cool. I don't know, I got distracted with, Disney stuff and a couple of other, like, assignments and Bad Apple, and then I started this painting, and then I really got into doing this one, so, yeah, I don't know. I have some that just go unfinished sometimes, but I really do plan on finishing that one, because I do think, it would be, a good piece that I want to do. So, yes, rockabilly artist, I will finish the Mayan princess, but I'm not sure when. Let's see. Miss Corpstein asks, how do you varnish or glaze your finished project? You've never mentioned that before. Oh yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm kind of gonna skip this one because I have a video in progress. Again, I just haven't had time to finish it, but I'm gonna talk about glazing and varnishing your finished pieces, because it's very, very important and it takes a little practice. So I actually want to do a demo of that one. So I'm going to do a video on varnishing. So hang tight for that. Just Jordan asks, Just Jordan 27, what is your favorite thing to paint? I mean, really? I think that's pretty obvious. I like paint girls. That's what I do. So yeah, there's that one. All Hollows 1000. Have you ever clashed with other artists over little ideologies of how you make art or what you think art is? No, not really. The artists that I know are like all super cool and like down to earth. I haven't had anybody really. I haven't really had any disagreements with people, other professionals or anything, so no. Art Junkie, are your art classes going to be online or in person? Online. Yeah. it's in person just doesn't really make sense for me because I just feel like I couldn't reach as many people as I'd like to, and I'd really like to make these accessible to you guys around the world. And yeah, so I don't know. I might someday do a workshop or something in San Francisco area, but honestly, I just feel like it's it's more conducive for my purposes to have it online where lots of people can access it at any time. So I don't know. That might be something down the road, but at this time, I don't plan on teaching anything live. Love is Grim asks, I have a huge problem. When I draw, I end up feeling like something huge is missing and I can't name what is wrong. No one else seems to see it. To make it worse, I just have the habit of stopping when working on a piece of any type of artwork for an hour, then saying, it's done, I'm over it. Then suddenly when the assignment is due and everyone is looking at it, everyone can see what's wrong. I think I kind of, when I answered the question for counted shadows, I hopefully that kind of like covers your question as well. Again, you might be not, I think for both of you guys, you're just putting too much pressure on yourself. I definitely had this same problem when I graduated from art school, especially. I felt like, oh, I should be ready now. I should be ready to create the exact perfect pieces for my portfolio, and everything I do now, since I am a graduate of art school, should be perfect and professional. And oh my God, I was paralyzed. I was really having a hard time, and I just kind of, I don't know, I got a job at an office that I hated, and I just went to work and went to bed, and I just threw away every piece of art that I did, and it was kind of a tough time because I felt like I wasn't prepared for anything, and I just had this like stigma over myself where I'm like, okay, it's on now, you better start making the perfect portfolio or you're, screwed. But I kind of started to pull myself out of that phase after several months of, working a job that I hated, basically. I was like, well, this is not what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. This is not what I want to do. So you guys probably know because this is shortly before I started making Art Nouveau, and I was like, I just need something to motivate me and just get me going. And I don't know, I decided to just start putting my videos out there, and I've been doing that ever since, basically. And one thing has led to another. And you guys can go back and watch my super old videos. I mean, maybe this will like make you feel better. They were a little rough. They were. I go back and see them and I'm like, oh, I don't know. But I was trying. I was like, I'm putting it out there. And I've learned so much from you guys, from other professionals, as I've gone along. So just keep doing it. I know I keep saying that, but it really is true. Like, you're not going to get any better. You're not going to learn anything if you give up every time. So you just got to say, hey, am I in this for real or not? And if you're not, that's okay too. You can still do it as a hobby. If it's what you love and trying to do it as a job is just too much pressure for you, then maybe it's not the right career. I think that is also what I could say. If you're truly not enjoying it, then why do it, Like, just don't torture yourself. Okay. William Kogoy asks, I've been struggling to get motivated to start achieving my goals. Do you have any advice to keep motivated? Yeah, again, you guys, you gotta get pumped. Come on, man. Get pumped up to create some art. Like, I don't know, it's hard, right? There's so many distractions out there. There really are. This is a kind of a hard time to be an artist because people have very short attention spans, and there's just a lot of stuff out there to distract us. But to answer your question, I think maybe you should make smaller goals. I find that that's often useful. some people say, like, and I've been guilty of this myself, like, my goal is to be a professional artist and be famous and be in art magazines. Okay, well, like, that's like a little bit too broad and really difficult to live up to and actually make happen. So I'm a big believer of making achievable goals, small achievable goals. So, William, what I would tell you is, like, keep it a little smaller. I'm not really sure, like, what your goal is, but I'm guessing it might be a little bit over your head. So maybe just be like, this week I'm going to do a new piece for my portfolio and, do it. And then say, okay, good. And now next week I'm going to do 2 pieces. Or next week I'm going to research all the galleries or magazines or any clients that I'd like to potentially work for, and make that a goal and say, okay, now I've got some contacts that I'm going to look into, and there you go. So make smaller goals. And again, I know I keep advertising this class that I don't have, but it's coming. I'm working on it. But I'm going to talk more about that and break that stuff down for you guys, because I know it's a little bit hard. It's hard to come up with that step-by-step process on your own. I know I had a hard time, and it took me a while to get it, and so now I figure, well, I kind of figured some things out, so I might as well share it with people who are struggling and in the same boat that I was. So yeah, so I will definitely try and do that for you guys. Let's see. Emily Lau. Hey, Emily. How's it going? Okay. She says, yes, I love The Wolf Among Us. Me too. It's so awesome. And the girls from the Puddin' and Pie would look fabulous in your style. Not to mention Snow and Bloody Mary. Have you played Telltale's The Walking Dead? Yes, I have. That's the one that I started playing. Oh my god, you guys, that game is so good. I bawled like a baby at the end of that game. Lee! Oh, Lee! Oh god, it's so good. But I will say this though, come on, Telltale games, you guys, like, I was playing the Game of Thrones one last night, and they're so freaking glitchy. Like, I have to say, that's really annoying, and I feel like... Boo-boo, are you thirsty? Ugh, sorry, my guinea pigs are thirsty. It's really hot today. Sometimes I take their bottle out while I record, but I don't really want to deprive them of water and abuse my pets while it's 80 degrees in here. Am I getting sweatier? Am I getting sweatier as time goes on? Yes, Emily. So anyways, I play all the Telltale games. They're awesome. Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us are my favorites. But actually, Tales from the Borderlands is a very close second, third. Really like it. My least favorite is the Game of Thrones game, to be honest. I think that there's just some things that I don't like about it. This is kind of a sidebar tirade, but since Emily opened the can of worms, you guys can all thank her for that. I feel like their Game of Thrones series, like, they have to stay really close to the existing plot lines of the books and show, but I feel like Telltale games are all about decision making and consequences, right? But I feel like their Game of Thrones series is like, your decisions don't really matter. Like my boyfriend plays too, and whenever, like, you have a huge, they pose these huge decisions to you, but there's no way for you to get a different outcome. So I don't really understand the point of a choice game with no different outcomes. All right, that's my 2 cents on that. Why don't you draw men and or children? I'm not answering that again. Sorry. Are women easier? No, they're not. Do you feel like you can get away with more unique? No. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a jerk. People constantly, can you not draw men? Like, what? It's like, yeah, dude, I can, man. Like, I have Drawn a million men. Art school, I draw lots of men. Not really children. I don't draw children because I don't really like to. I don't want to sell paintings of baby faces. That's not my gig. It's not my jam. So just don't. I paint what I'm inspired by. I paint characters that I like to paint, and I just don't feel like I have to keep answering that. Sorry. Okay, Martha Miranda, please make a video ranting so I can share it with people. Aren't I ranting right now? Oh god, no, I would love a good rant. I think I'll do that. Actually, maybe you guys can help me out with this. So I was gonna do like things that people say to artists that are annoying. So like kind of like an artist etiquette video. I've come up with quite a few of them on my own, but it would be great to get your input too and let me know what things most annoy you. So I'll add them to the rant video. Maybe it'll go viral and everyone will think I'm mean, but it's true. The struggle is real. Okay, speaking of Telltale games, or I guess video games in general, Kira Truman, can you draw Athena from Borderlands? I would love to, but I don't take requests. Sorry. Yeah, I've told you guys before. Maybe if I was like faster, I'm not very fast. So like if I'm gonna do a piece, like I have to devote a lot of time to it generally. So there's no possible way I could take unpaid requests. So sorry, I just can't do it. Okay, Miss Corpstein, I always wonder how you choose your frames. I don't know. There's not like a whole lot of logic behind it. I'll usually take my paintings to the frame store and just like try a few that I like. Occasionally I will buy a frame before, actually a lot of times I will buy a frame before I have a painting for it just because I love the frame. And so sometimes actually the frames will kind of inspire the piece. So that sometimes happens. I don't know. I get frames all kinds of different ways. Sometimes they're vintage. Sometimes they're just on sale at Aaron Brothers and I like them. So I don't know. I don't really have like an exact science to it. It's just whatever I find. Sometimes I buy them online as well. Love LTR. Could you tell us about your camera setup? I've always wondered how you do a dual recording. Okay, well that's a good question. So this is, I'm filming with my laptop, with my MacBook Pro, and the new MacBook Pro has an HD webcam in it. So awesome. And up here I have my Canon T5i DSLR, and it's on a desktop monopod. I think I've told you guys about it before. Unfortunately, though, I got it from a camera company on eBay, and they're like a photography supply, and they make these, but they don't sell them anymore, and I'm really bummed because it's really awesome. I got it years ago. I probably got it 7 years ago. There's probably stuff that's similar, and you could look for it. So again, it's called a desktop monopod, and that's what I use. I edit my videos in iMovie, which is not really the best, but I've already learned it, so I don't really want to learn a new editing software. So that's how I do it. And it's actually pretty great. This camera is somewhat new. Thank you to my awesome Kickstarter supporters that made it possible for me to get a really nice HD camera, because I love this camera and it's amazing and makes my videos look super good. So thanks for that. Thiento, hi Leilani, how will the classes run? Will you run them only one time or periodically? I want to take the classes, but my class schedule is kind of crazy. I'm planning to take them after graduation, which is next year. Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't really explain this. So my online classes will be, they will be available anytime, all the time. So it's like an ongoing type thing. So it's really, really cool. I wanted to actually tell you guys more about this. So it'll be like structured just like any other like college online class, where all the modules will be there available to you pre-recorded. So you can watch them, rewatch them. There'll be demos and lectures and everything. And then there will also be like a discussion section where we can interact live. I will be giving you guys critiques. There'll be a place or email that you can submit your work for direct critique from me. So it'll be anytime. People, you can join up at any time, log on any time of day, anywhere in the world. So it's going to be pretty great. You won't have to start it at any certain time. It'll just be available whenever you are. So I'm really excited. I have recently, so there's been a few setbacks about the classes. I haven't really told you guys that much about it. But as you might imagine, I had planned to get both classes done in like May, and that was completely unrealistic. I have many hours of content. Well, not many hours, but a lot of content that I ended up writing. And for all that content, I need to film, I need to edit, I need to do demos, I need to upload, I need to have written stuff. So it's like complicated. And I was about ready to start filming, and the Udemy, who I'm going to be doing the class through, has like a really tight like approval process. So I sent them a demo of what I was going to do, and they were like, yeah, well, it looks okay, but your lighting setup is unprofessional. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but I recently had to get a whole new lighting setup, and actually it looks really great, so I'm really happy. But they were expensive, and I was like, well, now I've got a budget for this as well. So that was kind of a slight setback in creating my classes. I had to get those. And yeah, so I have just been going slowly but surely, but I'm getting there. The other thing I was going to tell you is just like, it's been so tough. On my Art Nouveau and these videos, I'm not like scripting it, right? I'm just like talking. So for my class, obviously I'm teaching you guys content that I have written. So I'm trying to I have like a little teleprompter, and I'm trying to like get the content in, but like I hate feeling like unnatural. Like I hate feeling like I'm not talking to you. I don't like reading. So it's been very challenging to do these videos because I'm not really used to doing it that way, and I want to make sure it has the same, vibe like when we're working together like this. So yeah, I'm working on it. It's been a challenge, but I really can't wait to finish it. I'm super excited. Okay, so I still have a long way to go on the face, obviously, but I wanted to show you a little technique that I use and do a little demonstration here. So on my comp here, I have like the bleeding heart with Pegasus in it, and I wanted to do like a nice little gradient in there. As you might imagine, painting gradients are as tricky as it is. But it's really hard if you're trying to like paint around something. It's like impossible because you kind of have to do it in quick, even strokes. And because I don't really want to like redraw Pegasus, I kind of like the placement of it. I'm using some Frisket, which is a masking material. Let's see, so you can see this better. And I'm going to, and I've already traced Pegasus on here. And I'm going to cut this out and stick it on, and then I'm going to paint my gradient on top of that. So yeah, using tools, people. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, and while I cut this out, I will answer another question. Ennobled Jade, how do you print your artwork? Any tips for brand new artists? Yeah, I already answered this one. Check out my FAQ for that one. I talk all about printing your artwork. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna interject this here. If you guys could put the hashtag AskLJ, I think it would make it easier for me to scroll through the comments and find the actual questions. I know some of you guys just have some comments. So from now on, if it doesn't have the hashtag, then I'm not gonna see it. But April P asks, I have a question. Where do you get your little pint pots, like the ones you use in the videos? Like, oh, like these? Like this? Yeah, do they come in sets? It's a great way to save colors. Yeah, so I have a mix of things. I have my real ones, and then I have my ghetto ones, which are like just so these they don't come in sets. They're like $1 each at the art store. It's kind of nice because they have the lid attached like that, and they seal up pretty good. However, I did find these recently at the dollar store, and they work great as well. And these came in like a pack of 10. So 10 for $1, much better deal. Should have showed you this first. And they're little like snack containers, like for kids. They're like little, I don't know, it's like in the food store section. But these are awesome. And then I also, you know, I'm a girl, I buy makeup and stuff. So I have a bunch of these just like old makeup anti-wrinkle cream jars. That's why I don't look 30, guys. Anti-wrinkle cream. Just kidding. Yeah, so these are great. Make little pine pots as well. So there you have it. Okay, Megan Canost asks, what's your favorite painting out of all the ones you've created? And I really, really, really would like to join your art school, but alas, my family is not wealthy and cannot afford it. Well, first of all, my classes are actually going to be really affordable. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm going to definitely make it as affordable as possible for everybody. So they're not going to be that fancy. I'm going to keep them as reasonable as possible. My favorite painting out of all the ones I've created. Gosh, that's hard. That's like choosing between your children, right? It's like Sophie's choice in here. I don't know. They all symbolize different things for me, you know? Like, I don't know, like Flora and Fauna, Fauna is up there, were kind of a turning point for me. So I really was excited by those. I don't know, like I had a moment with those. I didn't really plan them. You guys know mostly I plan my pieces like very early. I do thumbnails, I do a sketch, I do a transfer. I didn't do that at all with those. I just wanted to kind of like break out of my artist block I was having during that time. And so those were kind of symbolic for me. I like my fawn that I did, inspired by Pan's Labyrinth. That piece had a lot of, again, kind of personal meaning, and I did it for the Kickstarter, which was successful and awesome. I don't know, different ones for different reasons. Also, now I'm just sounding braggy, but my Ophelia piece, which I still have, maybe she's meant to stay with me. I don't know, I really liked that piece. It was one that was formed in my head, and it came out like shockingly pretty much just how I intended it, and that rarely happens. So yeah, I'd probably say those as my answer to that. Okay, so I went ahead and skipped ahead to my little cutout here. So I've cut out my magical Pegasus, and then I'm going to peel this off very carefully and stick it right on here. Let's see, hopefully I have the actual skills required to do this. See, these are the times where I'm like, dude, why don't I just like be a digital artist? I mean, this stuff would be so much easier. I could do this in 5 seconds. But no, I want to do it this way. This is what I want to do. Okay, there we go. So it peels off like a little sticker, and sorry, my guinea pigs are at the bottle again. Haven't you had enough? Okay, so we're gonna just carefully stick this on here. There we go. Now it's on there. Sorry, this is why I don't create live, right? Okay, because you guys will be here all day watching me put my frisket down. Okay, so I'm using this little rubber thingy to smooth it down. And then I'm gonna take my matte medium, and actually go over the frisket because that will help keep the paint from leaking underneath our little layer mask here. So just gonna grab a nice little brush. It's hopefully clean, and go right on over it like so. Okay, so like I thought this hairdo was like a good idea at the time, and now I see that it's totally impractical for actually painting. And plus it's hot as heck in my work studio and I'm just getting sweaty. Okay, there we go, and we're gonna let that dry for a bit. Looks like this. And you know, you don't have to this doesn't have to be like perfect because you know you can touch it up afterwards, but it's just kind of nice to keep the silhouette there, so I don't have to try and replan that out. Okay, so I'm gonna put my hair in a clip and answer the next question. Kayla O, do you ever put too much pressure on Yes, I clearly do. I put too much pressure on everything. Do you ever put too much pressure on yourself when you are painting a commission piece or something for a client? I know I get very stressed out trying to please the person. Do you have any tips that would help me be less hard on myself? Well, Kayla, I totally know that's like super hard. It is, you know, especially when you're first starting out and you don't have like a whole lot of practice at it. I think that's part of it. You'll get more confident. You'll definitely get more confident. But I will say this, good communication with your client is vital. Like if you're feeling like confused and lost, then you need to express that to your client and say, you know, I'm really not completely clear on what you want, and I don't want to, you know, waste your time or mine. So let's make sure we're on the same page. You know, sometimes it's just the client themselves is just a difficult client, which happens, and they don't even know what they want. So a lot of the pressure ends up on you. A lot of these illustrators, we kind of have this going joke about the client that says, I'll know it when I see it. So what the heck does that mean? They expect you to guess, to read their mind, and once you do it, then they like it? That's just ludicrous, and it is much more common than you might imagine. But yeah, I would say just, you know, try and talk to them, work with that person. Usually if they are familiar with your style, familiar with the way you work, and they can express their needs, then it should be a fairly straightforward process. But obviously I know that's not always the case, and some clients are more difficult than others. So I wish you luck there. But just know that practice makes, not necessarily perfect, but practice does make it come easier to you the next time. Okay, so hopefully I have time for a few more questions. I think that was all the ones I saw on YouTube. Again, if I skipped over your question, it's because I've already answered it. So now I'm going to go to Instagram, and hopefully I can answer a few more of these. Okay. Anonymous 9. How do you paint smoothly with minimum brush strokes besides using a smooth paint surface? I've talked about this, I think, on actually my Art Nouveau episodes before. But mostly it's just like I'm super like kind of anal about it. I paint thin, and I paint like quite a few layers. But I kind of just keep on smoothing as I go. I think painting thin definitely helps. I do several layers. You know, you can mix it with some mediums or a little bit of water. Just, you know, make sure you're careful how much water you use, because otherwise the acrylic polymers, getting sciencey, the acrylic will actually like crack and crumble. So you want to make sure that you don't actually mix too much water. I know there's an actual ratio. I forget what it is. It's like no more than 30% water, I want to say. Don't hold me to that. I have to look it up. But yeah, so that's how I do it. I use very soft sable, or not sable. I can't afford sable brushes. So I use very soft synthetic brushes typically, and I just smooth it out as I go. So that's kind of how I do it. It's taken me quite a bit of like practice to kind of I hesitate to ever use the word perfect, because I don't think anything I do has been perfected. But that is sort of the technique that I use for that. Okay, Lucerina Ann. Can you please show your portfolio you used to apply for art school and give some tips on how to create a good one? Oh God. I don't have any idea where it is at the moment. You know what? I'm gonna put you on hold, and I will try and answer that next time. Because I think I do have it somewhere, but it was so long ago. I think it was on a CD or something. So I don't think it was even a physical portfolio I sent. They wanted it digitally. It wasn't very good. I know that. And as far as like how to create a good one, that's a little broad. Every school has slightly different like parameters, so it depends. You might want to actually contact the school you're interested in and ask them about that. Usually, like, my school just wanted to see your best work. I don't remember them having like requirements per se. Like, I don't remember them saying you have to have one figure drawing, one still life, or anything like that. I don't know. So I sent like a few different things. It was very hodgepodgey. I'm probably not the best person to ask about that, to be honest, because like I said, my portfolio was not that great. And the Academy of Art did not have, I said this on my last video, they don't have like a portfolio, strict portfolio requirement. I don't even think they have one. I think it's just, you can go if you want to. So yeah, so I don't really have too much specific feedback on that. Okay, so my matte medium is dry here. So now I'm gonna do my gradient over the top, and I'm gonna be using red and black to create this gradient in the heart area. Okay. I'm gonna use some painter's tape to mask off her arms right here. Okay. And I've said this before, but sometimes I kind of stick this tape on my hand a little bit first, just so it doesn't have so much glue, so it doesn't tear your paint off. Okay, and while I get started, I'm going to get back to my questions. XX.esk, is there an address where we can send sketches and stuff to? Sadly, no. I haven't really started doing that, for a couple of reasons. And one reason is, sad but true, but I have had a few people who are kind of creepy and stalkery and weird, and I don't want to have any kind of address where they could contact me. So no, I don't. And the other thing is, like, as much as I would love to have your original fan art, I live in a little place. I wouldn't have like room to keep it all, and so sadly I don't know what I would do with it. I'd love you can send it to me, you know, on Instagram or online, but I can't accept original fan art. Sadly, I'm sorry. If you see me at a convention or a gallery or art show, I would love to pick it up there, but other than that, I don't really have a way to accept fan art. So thanks, and yeah, thank you for understanding. All right, so here we're ready for this gradient here, and so the key to this is just to do it quickly and do it quickly. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I can advise. I'll show you how it goes. Keep your brush really wet and start with the color that you want. So I'm going to start with pretty much pure black at the top here. And I'm just going to go straight across pretty much. Kind of trying to keep the heart shape, but not worrying about that too much. I'll show you why in a minute. I'm not worried too much about the other elements. I just want to get this on here. So smooth even strokes, just kind of putting the black on first and get it nice and smooth. My brush in this case is actually a little bit wet, so you can see the paint is a little bit thinner than I would like, but I might have to do one more layer over it. Okay, so I'm not really worrying about her finger because I can pull that out later. Just a second. So I'm going black about halfway. There we go. I'm just trying to keep the strokes even. And then I'm gonna slowly introduce a little bit of the red here. And you can see it's like a super dark red. And then what I'm going to do is just carefully go back into it a little bit. So you're only going to go a little ways up. You don't want to go all the way up again, because then you'll pull the red into the black on the top, which wouldn't be what we want to do here. So you take the next color down just a little bit farther than you want it, so you can blend back up into it. So this gradient's basically going to be 3 colors. I'm just keeping it pretty simple. So it's black, a dark red, and then I want down here just the purest, pure bright red. So then I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to very lightly, just very feathery light, just brush back up into that darker red. See, you can see that I'm getting a pretty good gradient here. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that. I might do one more layer of it though, just because it came out just a little bit thin, but that's the basic idea. I sound like Bob Ross right now, and it's really awesome. I love him. If I haven't mentioned it before, like, Bob Ross is probably like one of my biggest inspirations. The reason why I do art videos, for sure. And yeah, if you don't know who he is, look him up on YouTube and just enjoy, because he's the best. Okay, I think I have time for just a couple more questions here, and then hopefully I'm not sure if we'll have time to see this lift off, because I like to leave it on for a while and make sure it's nice and dry before I peel it up. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 more questions, and then, no, let's see. Oh, I only have 3 more. So I'll take the 3 more questions, and then we will be finished for today. So let's go move this. We'll do a little bit more on her face while we answer these final 3 questions. All right, Isaac's son, 1974, asks, do you have the experience that you love your paintings at this moment, thinking it's your best art so far, but then after a few months or years, you look back at it and think, oh my God, it sucks. Why do I think it's my best art at that time? Because it is. It is your best art at that time. And if you hate it, I mean, that if you hate it after a couple months or years, that is a good sign. That means you're improving. So, you know, you don't know what you don't know, right? So at the time, you're proud because you haven't, you know, learned the next step. So you don't see it that way, you know? So like when you're a kid, like this is my best work ever, because it is your best work ever, and you haven't learned more skills yet to do even better than that. So no, that's a good thing. Embrace the suck, as they say, right? Yeah, I feel that way all the time. I'm like, wow, that piece is sucky. I'm admitting this to you guys, but like, don't spread it around too much. But I feel that way about a lot of my pieces, some of which are still really good sellers for me as far as prints and things. And I have mixed feelings about it, because I feel like, well, you know, I feel like I've improved since then, yet for some reason I'm still selling this old piece that I feel is not my best work anymore, and doesn't really represent me. But, you know, people still like it. They don't know that was like not my best work or whatever, you know? So it's kind of a tricky thing. So yeah, I mean, we're always our own worst critics, right? We always are the harshest on ourselves. So just keep at it, man. You know, the more you hate, the more you're getting better. So there you go. All right. So I think I want to do just really, really smoky, dark eye makeup on here. See, this is the part where I get kind of like timid, because I'm like, okay, I'm used to seeing it like look a certain way. So I think I'll just use a little tiny brush. Even tinier. This little tiny brush for this. Okay, next up, Irina Gladkova. Do you sometimes fall in a procrastination phase, and how do you fight your way through it? Yeah, I mean, of course. I think everyone does sometimes, unless you're like super mega organized, whatever. But for real, like, I don't have like, this sounds weird, I guess, but I don't have time to procrastinate that much. Most of my time is working time. So you get a system down, which I have to have, because I run my business. I have to do paintings. I have to answer emails. I have to, I have a lot of different hats that I wear. So I really don't have time to just be like, I'm not going to work on that right now. I just have to be like, okay, I got to get this done. So there you have it. Sometimes other things have to go by the wayside when I have something that's coming due first. So I guess that's sort of procrastination. But then I don't know. Then I just have to balance somehow. So I don't know. It just takes practice. You'll get a system down. Trust me. Like once you're like doing this a lot, you'll definitely have a system. But just force yourself. Like, use this paint along video as your time. Just be like, okay, I'm gonna listen to Leilani. She told me I have to do this, so put my video on for an hour and do your work. It's like your schoolwork, right? You're like, I have to do it. So just again, I think like there's a lot of distractions out there nowadays. So I think it's good practice for all of us to just like turn those off sometimes and just my boyfriend and I, when we both have to work super hard and we share our art studio space, right? We sometimes are even distracted by each other in the room, just like talking. So when it's serious, we say, I'm going under, and you put your headphones in and you go under, you're like going into my little art submarine and don't talk to me until I come back out. So yeah, so just set that time aside and do it. And the last question I'm going to answer today is from my dear Rockin' Schizo. And she says, "Hi doll, absolutely love your work. I'm 25 and like you." Oh, I thought I'm 25 like you. I'm like, you think I'm 25? I'll take that. No, I'm 25 and like you, I've been doing art from a young age, but I feel like I'll never make it as an artist since it's such a difficult and competitive field. I paint, and my house is full of my originals and your gorgeous work, but I've never had the guts to put my work out there. Do you think there is an age where you should stop pursuing art as a career? And I know I've been asking you, but will you ever finish your Mayan princess? Yeah, I talked about the Mayan princess, but do you think there is an age where you should stop pursuing art as a career? I'm in the optimistic group on that. I think it's never too late. It's never too late to change gears. It's never too late to do something new. But with that said, I would definitely say, there is a time to get real, as Dr. Phil says, right? Get real with yourself. And realize, I guess, okay, here's a good example. Like, people who want to be actors, right? Although there's definitely exceptions to this. So, but sometimes you're like, okay, this is not paying my bills. And that is reality. Unfortunately, guys, money is an issue. It rules our lives in many, many ways. And it definitely makes sense that sometimes you just have to like make certain realizations. With that said, though, I think that if it's something you really want, if it's something you truly feel passionate about, I would never, ever discourage you and tell you that it's too late to pursue that. You may have to get a little more creative with your income streams, and you may have to paint late at night after your job. I was doing that when I first started. I did not just say, oh, I'm a professional artist now, and this is how I make my living. That's not how it happened for me. I had 2 jobs. So it was really hard. So I don't know. I think decide what your bigger goals are. And again, there's also nothing wrong at all if you would rather enjoy art in a hobby sense and not do it as your job. Honestly, just because you love something, the truth is sometimes that is not feasible for whatever reason for you to do to earn a living. So hopefully that kind of answers it for you. I encourage you though. I'm behind you, girl. Like if you want it, hey, you're only 25. I wasn't fully working just in art until I was 27 or 28, and even then I was poor as dirt. So it's not even until now where I'm starting to finally get ahead a little bit. So I don't know. I just keep on keeping on, and maybe my class would be good for you. Kind of help you like get on that track to the professional thing. That's what I'm teaching. I'm teaching like how to get started on that path, and some things that I subsequently learned accidentally that helped me get here. All right, guys. So that is it for today. That's all the time I have for questions. We did make some progress on Medusa today, and I would like to share the finished piece with you on my next episode of Art Nouveau, and hopefully see you guys again on the paint along. Thanks for hanging out. Remember to tag your questions, Ask LJ, so I can find them, and read the FAQs so I don't repeat the questions. And I will see you guys next time.